podcast. My name is Megan, and this is
Donnie, also known as Donnie the Tree Lady.
Yep. And we are so excited because we're diving into chapter 6 of Highly Effective People.
7 habits of highly effective people. Yes.
Yeah. And it's super exciting because...
Keep going. Maria? Go ahead. I apologize. And this is live, guys.
It is live.
I was just trying to get to the comments just in case, and I don't quite know how to do that.
Just live chat. So live chat.
Is that where it says live chat? Right there? Okay, great. That's what we wanted. I'm learning.
Press on it.
Okay, I thought I did. Okay. I don't know how to do that. It's not doing it, but that's okay.
Okay, I think that's
okay. Awesome. All righty.
All right.
And you know what? This is us growing.
Yeah.
This is absolutely us growing. We've never done it like this before. We've obviously created this studio, and that was a collaboration of different ideas, different people putting their insight and their ideas together with, each other and making something great.
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying, we are, just to do a reset, we are in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And the chapter we are on right now is, again,
creative collaboration and or known as synergy.
Yeah.
So it's when you're in a room with somebody and the energy is high, you're vibing, and like just creativity is just flowing. It's not anybody trying to prove one thing or another. It's everybody working on this one thing and letting it grow into something that is completely different than maybe you were expecting at first. And the reason this is the 6th and last chapter of the Public Victories is because it's like a culmination of everything been talking about and learning about. So it's just, that's the reason it's the last one.
Absolutely.
Because you have to learn all the other habits before you can effectively do this and start seeing it happen a lot more in your life.
Well, I think it also harkens back to, and by the way, user NM1JJ68
welcome.
Before. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate it. Very much appreciate you watching the climb. But we had talked about how we have to seek to understand before wanting to be understood, and that's a huge part of synergy, because if you don't feel seen and you don't feel heard, you don't feel understood, it's going to make it very hard to synergize with another human being in order to create a result.
Yeah. You're just not going to be able to bring your whole self. So if I feel like you're going to judge me and not actually care about what I have to say, I'm not going to say it, unless I feel very compelled to do so. If there's any kind of blockage or friction, it makes it very hard to flow, right?
Absolutely.
There's rocks in the river, it's not going to flow as straight.
That's so good. Yeah. And we don't want to hit those rocks. We do not want to hit those rocks. We want to stay on an even path. But also, sometimes in life, if you do hit a rock, or in business, if you do hit a rock, synergy is what's going to be the main thing that helps you navigate those rough waters, Yeah.
And I think it's overcoming problems, and not, let me even change that. It's not even just overcoming them. It's making something better out of them. So taking a problem and saying, okay, we could think about this negatively and complain about it, or we can come together and say, okay, we have this thing that we need to solve. What's the best way that we can solve it to where not only will it be fixed today, but it will be fixed tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
Yeah. I actually had some notes because I really wanted to come prepared, to be a little bit more prepared, because I'm trying to be better. But the core principle of synergy, or synergizing, is it's not a compromise, like you were saying. It's not 50-50. It's not you looking at the person going, I'm going to get my half and you get your half. It's actually creating a third alternative that is better than either person's original position. Like you said, 1 + 1 = 3 or more, actually. So I think that comes down to what one of the things they said was appreciating diversity, appreciating another person's idea, It also said leaning into disagreement. So a lot of times, whenever you are trying to create synergy, there might be some challenging conversations or some challenging moments, but that's part of creating synergy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what created. If everybody is agreeing at all times, nothing new is
Mm.
being said. I'm sure you've been in a classroom before where like one person will say something and be like, "Oh wow, that's a really good point. I had the same thing happen to me," and then they say like the exact same thing. And having other perspectives and
Mhm.
sharing your own perspective is important.
Yeah.
But it's when you have the, oh, mine's the same, I think the same, I think the same, I think the same, I
Mhm.
think the same. No one's growing in
Yeah.
that. So having people to push up against where it's like you say something that I'm like, I have no idea how she got there. Tell me about that.
Tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why it's the sixth habit and not the fourth or fifth, is because you have to know that have to know how to listen with empathy.
Yeah.
If I don't know that and you say something that I disagree with, I'm going to be combative, right?
Yeah.
And the synergy is gone. But when I lean into it, I'm like, ooh, that is so interesting. Like,
Yeah.
how did you get there? Tell me more. Like, where's that coming from?
Mm.
Then you get to have a very different conversation rather than, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Like, that makes no sense.
Exactly. But it also goes back to being sincere.
Yeah.
Sincere. When you say tell me more, you actually do want to hear, hey, how did you come to that conclusion? And here's the thing, sometimes people can come to a conclusion because they lack information.
Mhm.
I remember earlier today we were talking about a text that I sent, and I literally said, no, I said it this way, or I said, and it literally the exact same words, but it was where I put a period that changed the meaning. So the sentence basically was telling somebody that they had time to do something and I would reach out to them later. But the way you all heard it was that I was not going to do something until I heard from them. And it was weird because I was like, how are they not understanding this? But when we talked about it, we realized it was because there was a period in the message that I was conveying as opposed to a run on sentence. And it completely changed the meaning.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, in your life, what would that look like? What would synergy look like on a day to day for you?
I think it happens the most when we have meetings in the morning, but I also love it when it happens with my clients.
Yeah.
Like, instead of coming like this, where it's like, oh, I want to sell you this, and I want to get this. It's, no, we're on the same page. Like, tell me your goals. Tell me what you're actually wanting out of this. Why are you wanting to get these trees trimmed or removed? What's your initial plan? Okay, let's work on something together. And then like, oh, you know what? We could actually put a garden over there. And I'm like, okay, perfect. If we do a garden, we can thin this out or trim those limbs back so you have more sunlight coming through. And it's like you're just working together. And they might have initially wanted, I don't know, a couple of limbs trimmed. But once they tell me what they're really wanting and they light up about it,
Yeah.
and we get to work on something and they see it all come together of like, oh yeah, we would need to trim those limbs and that tree is dead. So we'll take that one out so there's no danger. So that when I'm working in the garden, nothing's gonna fall on me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just incredible energy that is produced when two people or more are working together on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another part of that is that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, like I talked about in the first, where you're side by side rather than combative. But it really does take energy to want to learn more about somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful.
But it's also not just learning about the person, it's learning their why. And I think for us, when I first came up in sales, that's what we were taught. We were like, okay, the person's a doctor, they've got two kids, that they travel a lot, that they, do pretty okay for themselves and they like sports. But do you know why they're wanting your product or your service? And a lot of time that takes stepping back and going, how can I serve these people? How can I work together to create a solution that both fulfills them, but also, helps the company grow? And I found that when you're trying to build a relationship and you can find somebody's why, you can find a solution a lot quicker as opposed to just being there with your agenda, which is okay, I see they got 2 dead trees and they got these other 3 trees that are kind of over the play area and maybe they want those cut down. Well, if I find out why they want them removed as opposed to trimmed, I can create a better solution. And so I try to approach things that way too. And I think that's been incredibly helpful too, to be able to create synergy that way, is finding out the why. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Like when you're you have synergy with somebody, the energy multiplies.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really great sign of knowing when you are having a synergy moment
Hmm.
because the energy just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Like, oh yes, I love that. And we'll do this and we'll do that. And what about, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And it's